A quiet news report comes out of a silent prison. A prisoner named Frank Chambers escaped this morning. The reporter's voice is cold. This man is dangerous, and he may be armed. But far away from that noise, inside a small house, a woman is still breathing through a broken life. Her name is Adele. After her divorce, she lives alone with her only son, Henry. There is little money in the house, and even less hope. Her ex-husband has started a new life, a new family, new happiness. And behind him, he left only a child who feels the absence of his father and watches his mother fall apart in silence. Henry is young, but his heart is soft for his mother. He makes small paper coupons for her. Sometimes a massage for mom. Sometimes a promise to watch a movie together. Sometimes just one day where mom will not be sad. Henry knows. Divorce did not only break his mother. What truly broke her was the death of love. One day, Adele takes Henry to the supermarket. She is looking at clothes. Henry asks permission to go to the comic book shelf. He is turning the pages quietly, when suddenly, a stranger comes close to him. His clothes are covered in blood. There is a wound in his stomach. His breathing is heavy. Henry panics and tells him he is injured. But the man already knows. He whispers, "I need help." A few moments later, Henry brings the man to his mother. Adele freezes. A wounded stranger. Her son standing beside him. And in that man's eyes, a pressure that cannot be refused easily. He says his name is Frank. He says he needs help. Adele is terrified. But for a mother, the fear for her child is always stronger than the fear for herself. She finishes the shopping quickly. Henry is silent. Frank is with them. And all three get into the car. On the way, no one speaks. Only silence. A silence where every breath feels like danger. When they reach home, the television is on. The same face appears. The same man. Frank Chambers. A prisoner escaped from jail. Adele feels her heart sink. Fear enters Henry's eyes. Frank tells them he escaped from the prison hospital. He is injured. His foot is also badly twisted because he fell from the second floor while trying to escape. He says he only wants to stay for one day. Just one day. If Adele and Henry keep his presence a secret, he will not hurt them. Adele asks, "Can you guarantee that?" Frank answers quietly, "I cannot guarantee anything, but I have never hurt an innocent person." That sentence stays hanging in the room. Then Frank asks Adele to tie him up. So if the police come, it will look like she was being held hostage. So she will not be blamed for helping him. It is strange. A prisoner is thinking about protecting the people he is holding. After that, he takes meat out of the fridge. He washes it. He begins to cook. Henry and Adele watch him in surprise. This man does not look like a monster. He looks like someone who knows how to make a house feel alive. He prepares the food. They sit together and eat. Then Frank feeds Adele with his own hand. As if he wants to say, "I am not the man the television is describing." The night grows deep. The house becomes quiet. But inside Adele's heart, a new question is born. If this man is truly dangerous, why is there so much pain in his eyes? And if he is innocent, why is the whole world chasing him? The next morning, Henry wakes up to the smell of breakfast. He walks into the kitchen. Frank is already awake. The food is ready. For the first time in a long while, the house almost smells like life again. Henry reads the newspaper. The article is about Frank again. Frank looks at it and says the media exaggerates everything. Only 10% is truth, the rest becomes a story. Adele comes after taking a shower. The three of them eat breakfast together. Frank asks Adele about the train schedule to Canada. She does not know. After breakfast, Frank starts fixing things around the house. He repairs the wall. He checks the car. He fixes broken things. He teaches Henry how to play baseball. A prisoner is hidden inside this house. And yet, strangely, the house begins to feel safer than before. Adele watches him. His hands are rough, but his actions are gentle. She sews his torn pants. At that moment, Frank sees a wound on Adele's foot. He asks, "How did that happen?" Adele says, "I fell during dance practice." The conversation ends. But both of them understand that some wounds are not on the body. They are inside. Suddenly, there is a knock at the door. Frank changes immediately. He holds Adele. He tells Henry to go and lie. At the door is the neighbor. She has brought a bucket of peaches. She asks about Adele. Henry says, "Mom went to the market." The neighbor warns him that an escaped prisoner is in the area. Then she gives him the peaches and leaves. The door closes. Everyone finally breathes. Frank looks at the peaches. He says, "They are too ripe, they will go bad soon." Then he suggests making a pie. A new scene begins inside the kitchen. Frank peels the peaches. Henry helps him. Adele prepares the dough. Frank tells them that a good pie needs patience, not hurry. Everything must be measured. Everything must be made with heart. It was not just a pie. It was 3 broken people trying to create something together. They eat the pie. And in that moment, Adele feels that Frank may be the man she had always hoped to meet. Quiet. Responsible. Soft. Present. But outside, police cars begin moving through the neighborhood. Danger is getting closer. Frank says he must leave. He promised to stay only 1 day. But Adele stops him. She tells him to stay a few more days. To think about where he will go. To find a safe way out. Frank agrees. The next day, he works again. He makes breakfast. He cuts wood. He fixes the stairs. He changes the car tire. He cleans the house. In Adele's eyes, there is less fear now. And more tenderness. That day, Henry goes to buy some things. There, he meets a girl his age named Sarah. They talk. Henry returns home happy. But because of his happiness, he forgets to lock the door. Suddenly, the neighbor walks in. Frank quickly tries to hide. The neighbor asks Adele to watch her sick child because she has to go out. Adele cannot refuse. Frank does not object either. Instead, he treats the child gently. He includes him in the game. He teaches Henry. He even shows Adele how to stand while playing baseball. For a few moments, everything feels normal. That evening, they all watch television together. The news talks about Frank again. He is still wanted. The neighbor returns to pick up her child. The child tries to tell her that the wanted prisoner is inside Adele's house. But his mother does not understand. She scolds him and leaves. The door closes. The danger seems to pass, but only for a short time. Because the secret hidden inside a house never stays hidden forever. The next day, Henry meets Sarah again at school. She talks to him. She asks if his mother has always been that sad. Henry tells the truth. He says his mother used to be very quiet. But after a man came into their house, she started to look happy. On the other side, Henry's real father invites him to dinner with his new family. Henry sits among them. But that house does not feel like his. Those people are supposed to be his family. And yet, he feels like a stranger. At night, when he returns home, he sees a different scene. Adele and Frank are dancing. Soft music. A silent room. 2 wounded souls. For a few moments, they forget the past. Frank sees Henry. The dance stops. Then they tell him they are thinking about going to Canada. All together. As one family. Henry is surprised at first. Then he agrees. Because he also feels that maybe a new life is waiting for them there. They begin packing. Frank tells Henry not to take all his toys. They will buy him new ones in Canada. That sentence becomes a small light inside Henry's heart. Then Adele opens her past to Frank. She tells him her husband was cruel to her because she became a mother late. And when Henry was born, her husband left her for another woman. Frank comforts her. He says he will take care of her and Henry. Always. Then Frank talks about his own past. He says he was trapped in murder cases. His own gang made him the sacrifice. Now the three of them prepare to leave. Henry goes to his father's house to leave a goodbye letter. On the way back, a police officer sees him. He offers to drive him home. Henry refuses at first, but in the end, he gets in. When the officer drops him at the house, Adele's face turns pale. The officer asks some questions. Adele controls herself. She answers calmly. The officer even helps them carry some things. Then he leaves. Frank immediately says they cannot wait anymore. They must leave now. But they need money. Adele and Henry go to the bank. Adele withdraws all her savings. The bank worker asks why she needs so much cash. Adele says they are leaving town. The answer sounds normal. But danger is now very close. When they return home, the neighbor is there again. Frank has no time to hide. He introduces himself as a handyman. The neighbor seems to believe him. But doubt remains in her eyes. A little later, Adele and Henry return. Everything is ready. They only have to leave. But outside, the police have surrounded the house. The neighbor has reported them. Frank understands. Escape is no longer possible. He ties Adele up. So the world will think she was forced. So she will not be seen as his partner. This is his last way of protecting her. Then he walks outside and gives himself up to the police. Adele cries. Henry breaks inside. But everything is over. Frank receives 10 years for escaping. And 15 more years for holding Adele captive. Adele testifies that Frank is a good man. But the law does not always listen to the heart. Frank is moved to a faraway prison. Years pass. Adele waits. Henry grows up. He builds a life with Sarah. And with the pie recipe Frank taught him, he starts his own business. Henry and Frank keep writing letters to each other. Then one day, a letter arrives. Frank writes that he will soon be released. 25 years later, Frank is free. He is old now. But the same love remains in his heart. Adele has also grown old while waiting. But she is still there. They meet again. In silence. In tears. And in a love. That time, prison and the judgment of the world could never kill. At the end, the name of the film appears. Labor Day. This story reminds us of one thing. Sometimes, the face the world teaches us to fear is hiding the softest heart.